I learned a new phrase the other day. Grayson said, what is it? Whipping the shitties? Whipping shitties?
Oh, like donuts.
Yes, but I had never heard that phrase, and Grayson said it a couple of months ago and just said it really casually as if everybody knows this term. And then I saw something the other day that was like, if you're new to Minnesota or whatever, and it explained whipping shitties.
Remember when I used to just pull into parking lots and say, surprise donuts? And then we would do donuts.
That was a good time. You know, surprise shitties doesn't sound as good.
Yeah, no, it does. Are you joking?
Sounds like I need to get somebody a spare pair of pants and out of my car ASAP.
I was going to say, surprise shitties sounds like something that I go through every couple of months. Not a fun trick in your car.
No.
Where does this come from, though, for real? Because, like, donuts, the shape makes sense. It's cute. It references something fun that other people like. It's like a treat, you know, doing donuts. Doing a shitty or whipping shitties? Where does that come from? Like, what does that mean? Like you're whipping poop?
Maybe if you're pooping, it like whips it out of the car, you know? It's because you're moving so fast around a corner.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe donuts is too cute. It's not a cute thing. It's not this. If you've ever been in a car that's whipping shitties, it's a far more apropos descriptor.
Okay, I looked it up. And we're actually slightly all incorrect. Well, not me, because I didn't know about whipping shitties until right now. So I'm going to exclude myself from this. Whipping shitties doesn't mean making donuts. It's about leaving tire tracks from performing a donut. So it's like mud tracks in your underwear. You're whipping shitties. You're making the tracks.
I've never whipped a shitty then, because I don't think I've ever left tire behind.
Jesus. Grayson, have you ever whipped a shitty?
Frequently. It was really easy in my mom's minivan because they're very front heavy. So you just find a nice icy bit of road. You just got to like yank it hard, and you get the ass to kind of.
That was a really good tire noise.
Thank you. I studied at the Michael Winslow Academy of Vocal Effects.
Who's Michael Winslow? Kate Winslet's husband?
Yeah, and he calls himself Winslow just for like a fun little.
You know, like I didn't want to take her name completely, but I took half of it.
Yeah.
She allowed him to take half, is what it sounds like.
All right, welcome to My Top Everything. We're three best friends who never argue, who always get along, and who like to very calmly and rationally discuss our top three of a subject. And today we're doing top three worst baby boy names. But before that, updates, because I do have some questions to ask people, but I just remembered, so now I have to get to the spreadsheet. I was recently listening to our New Year's resolution podcast. We did. I know that people are probably going to be surprised to hear this. In the podcast episode, we said that we were recording from 2024. And I know we were really convincing, but we are actually recording from 2023. And we made some predictions about our New Year's Eve at Niagara Falls that we were all going to spend together. Some of the predictions were that there would be one fight. That did happen. One of the predictions was that we would do our annual like boob nipple check. That also did happen, actually, totally organically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was very funny for me to listen back on that and be like, oh wow, we nailed it. All the fixins were there.
All the fixins of hanging out with your best friends.
Yeah. Mara, you did, you were talking about miniature things in your life. You have that like little Poppins donut thing. We asked if you would bring it to New Year's because of in like 2021, you brought a Poppins to New Year's and we had our big laughs. you said, no, you would not be bringing it to New Year's because you wouldn't be able to wait that long to do it. Have you done your Poppins donuts? Did you do it before New Year's?
I have two things to say.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
One is that I did think about it before New Year's Eve, and I was like, I feel like the real reason I didn't want to bring it is because when I try to recreate things that went really like hilariously in the past, like they never hits the same the second time.
That's fair.
And no, it's still in the cupboard.
Great defense.
I'm just glad we got to the bottom of the real reason. I think that's a perfectly valid reason not to. And I knew it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's I've thought about it twice this weekend.
Well, you should do it before we post this video, so that way we can put a picture up on the Insta of the mini donuts that you made.
I have a question too. Is it made of the same material that gummy bears are made of?
Probably not, because this stuff sets a lot faster.
Okay.
It's still that, or like the gelatin content is like insanely higher. I'll look it up.
I want to see if you know the gummy bear things that people are doing where they put like a teeny tiny gummy bear in this huge vat of water with salt, and then it grows to be like the size of your face.
No.
Oh, you've not seen this? Yeah, so you can do it. It's just you grab a gummy bear, you put it in like a big tub, so like, I don't know, 10 gallons or something, and then fill that with water, and you put a little bit of salt in, and then the gummy bear grows, and it sucks up all the water, and then you can eat the gummy bear.
It's so interesting because I feel like you're on a different side of TikTok than Mara and I.
I'm 100% on a different side of TikTok.
I am very sure that Mara and I are on the same side of TikTok, but
I'm on like farming, like relationship advice, the cute little things, animals. I'm on the happy side of TikTok.
I mean, we're on the happy side too.
Yeah,
but
I get animal videos. I cry at cows.
Yeah, I get like cat compilations, dog compilations,
vegan cooking.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, because you said glimmers last time, and we didn't know what glimmers were.
Yeah. Still don't. Wasn't listening.
At least we're honest.
Mara, did you check? We have a lot for Mara, but one big one for Kara.
Oh, no.
Mara, does your debit card expire this year? Did you check?
It does, 11/24.
Okay, just remember that if you manage to get it done beforehand, you get an extra bonus point to apply to whatever episode you want.
Okay. I can't wait.
And did you make your deep cleaning apartment schedule?
Okay. No, I didn't. But I have I did plan out deep cleaning didn't even make it. I have 4 main things I want to work on throughout the year, and I was like, cool, each one gets a quarter. Deep cleaning is not on
one of those things.
Any of those.
It was a fake resolution.
If you move, it's like you'll deep clean, you know?
I know, but I feel like I got to start that now. I guess I kind of did. I hung up a ton of shit yesterday, and then I didn't throw much away. Just a couple
You organized it.
Yeah.
That's good.
My question for myself was, is the gym busier in January? I was very excited to be a gym regular and then see the January boom. It seemed a little bit busier, but I feel like I don't go during the times that we're probably busiest.
Yeah.
Since I'm unemployed, I go during the day, like in the middle of the day. But even so, it was pretty busy. The interesting thing about the gym, though, was that the first time I went back, the power went out and I had 2 minutes left in my workout. So I tried to keep going, but they kicked me out. So.
Just let me stay.
Also, Stell's so impressed that you kept with the regular schedule. I don't feel like I expressed that enough. Great job.
Wow.
Just wonderful.
Wow.
Proud of you, kid.
Is this what a compliment is like? It just sends shivers down my back. That's crazy. Marian and Kara, both of us, so I guess this actually is a small question for both of us. We talked about how we both went or were going to go to the winter solstice at our churches. Did you go?
No. Short answer, no.
Short answer, no to me too.
Because I was in Des Moines for the 21st, and I got to see like family, you know, every night of the week or whatever, because I'm only there every once in a while. So I had a thing with somebody that night, so I didn't go.
Okay. Yeah, mine was that it was at 5 p.m. in the valley, so that would have been like an hour of traffic to get there. So I decided not to. And it was only an hour long. So.
Wow, how do we get that Australian listener back? Like,
I don't know. I feel like they like kicked off before they got to hear themselves be referenced a lot or something. I don't know what happened. I feel like if I were the sole American listener for a foreign podcast and then they kept referencing me every episode, I would like triple down.
You'd listen to it 3 times.
Yeah, I'd listen to it a lot. I might like email them. I don't know. Okay, and our last update question is for Kara. Kara, have you finished your headstand yet? Because you said January 10th, so...
Haven't even started attempting it. Nope.
You were supposed to do a headstand for our Secret Santa party, but...
You said that you were going to dare me to or something by that point. I don't remember what the conversation was, but I have the whole year.
Yeah. No, the conversation was that you felt really cocky about how easy it was going to be. And then we started making jokes about how...
Yeah, that's true.
You'd be done by mid-January, so... Haven't started yet.
Nope, haven't started yet. I have been doing more yoga, so...
Oh, yeah. How far are you on the 30 days with Adrian?
3.
3's the magic number.
That I started 7 days ago.
I mean...
I did a run one day. I'm trying to like mix it up and do different stuff.
I'm on day 3 of my 100-day sketch challenge.
Dude, hell yeah.
I am in like day 10.
Nice.
That's pretty good though.
My goal is just to finish them by the end of the year. I feel like daily is too much of a ask for me.
All right. Should we get started?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go first just to, get the juices flowing. My number 3 worst baby boy name, it's just a category. It's any name that sounds normal, but you spelled it oddly, like one different letter. So Blake, but Blayke, or Boston, Bostyn. Anything where you want your kid to have an individual name that nobody else in the classroom has, but it's still a name that somebody else in the classroom could have, like Timothy with 2 E's and an accent over it.
That's French.
Timothy.
I think, honestly, it's super selfish because you're not actually thinking about the kid. As somebody who has a name that can be frequently misspelled or like it has lots of different versions of spelling, it was the bane of my existence trying to correct somebody. Like, you're not thinking about your 7-year-old kid who they're like, oh, Blake, great. And then you have to be like, no, actually, there's a Y in there. And the person's like, where is the Y? And they have to
Blakey.
Yeah, like, is your name Blakey? And they have to put that in there. I just think it's a bad move. You're not thinking about your child. I don't know what you're thinking about, but it's not your child.
This is good. I find all of those names to be saboteurs. Like, as somebody who can't spell to begin with, just adds a whole nother X mode games sometimes.
Yeah. I think I just let people misspell my name. I'd just be like, it doesn't matter. My name is Blake, and it's going to be spelled normally, except when I put it on government forms, and that's fine.
I guess, yeah. But for the first, 18 years of your life, your parents are gonna...
Yeah, because you have, summer camp and after-school care and, a field trip and all these things that you need to, tell people your name for.
Anyway, that's it. Just think it's...
Yeah.
an annoying thing to do all around to everybody. Also, having to be the teacher. Imagine being the teacher and you've got a Blake. You've got 2 Blakes in the classroom. One's got the Y in it. You have to remember to put the Y in every time. Or any name like that. It's all these extra letters. Like the people who do Kaylee or whatever. Or whatever. Or you know what I'm talking about with the girls where they put EIGH at the end of something that doesn't need to have that. Kaylee's not a good example. Yeah.
Ashley.
Yeah.
It's just oh my God. Why are you doing that to people? And it's not even I before E. So it's
except
extra
after
annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Extra annoying.
Okay.
I love that reason, actually. Okay, well, I'll go next. My number 3 is the name Diesel. So apparently it's Germanic in origin, but I just feel like if you name a Gen Alpha Diesel, like they're just gonna get bullied today. You know, like that's not cool. Don't do it.
This is part of Diesel is terrible. Diesel is a terrible name, but this is part of a category that I have that I'll just do now that won't be part of my top 3, which is names that are like hypermasculine things as well. So like Diesel, Axel, Jet, and Gage. What are you doing? Gage.
Oh my God.
I think we've all met one Gage. Like there's one Gage, and like why would you do that to a kid? Like you're asking them to be a certain way. Like I can picture every Gage in the world in my head. I can picture an Axel. Axel is particularly offensive to me. Like you name them after, I know that like it has origin just like Diesel, but it's a car part. You name them like basically after a car part.
Yeah. You didn't take that one step further after you were like, you know what name sounds good for this, my baby? Axel.
My baby? Axel.
Axel.
Wow.
I don't know why. All those names just, they get me. They get me. Jet. What are we doing here?
I can't not picture, not Korra. What's Avatar when you say Jet? That's all I picture.
That's where my mind went too.
Yeah. Evil little boy murderer Jet.
Yeah. Little rebel. In a different world, I'd be supporting him.
We like his end goal, not his methods.
No.
If you want to give your kid like a classic like masculine boy name, why not go for like, I guess I'm just
Marian.
also offended John Wayne's first name was Marian, so
yeah, not a joke, but like a joke, but like
I just think there's so many good Greek names like Ajax or Atlas. These are good. Like
Atlas is good.
Atlas still makes me think that you're a bit presumptuous.
Yeah, there's a little bit there, but I think it's still cool. I just don't think Axel or like Cash. Why are you naming your kid Cash?
Who's doing that?
People.
Why?
And not because they're naming them after Cash. All of these names like have
Cashmere.
No, I don't think they're.
I feel like that was a big just Mara moment where she stopped listening for a second, went on her own train of thought, and then said a word out loud, and then instantly was like,
origin.
No, okay, I looked it up. Cash is short for, and I'm gonna say this wrong, either Cassius or Cassius if you have only ever read the name.
Yep.
But apparently it means vain. So you're also, I'm going to like double down on this. This is a bad, like you're not even giving them a good, it's Latin for vain. So why are you naming your kid Cash?
I really feel like people need to Google the name before they fucking put it on their kid's birth certificate. Like just do a quick Google.
I mean,
see what the like worst murderer is. See if there's any weird disease. Like just quick.
I mean, with Cassius, that was Muhammad Ali's name. So that's kind of a cool namesake.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, our names mean bitter.
Not convinced.
So.
Yeah, and I take offense to that.
Yeah.
As I should. Why are you naming me bitter?
Would you change your names if you could? I mean,
would I change my name if I could? No.
Okay.
I don't know why I got so offensive.
At this point, no. I think, I tried to change my name when I was younger. I tried to give myself nicknames and get out of it, but...
There's like not really a nickname for Mara. Like the one that you guys gave me, Mara, is like the closest I've ever had to a nickname using my first name.
That's how I feel about Kara.
Same.
Same.
So, there's no nicknames here. There's nowhere to go.
No.
Like the names I chose for myself were completely... They had nothing to do. They were Mimi, which is not related to Marian in any way. And in fact, I discovered about 2 months after naming myself that a lot of people call their grandmas Mimi. Exactly. So I got a sign for my birthday when I was 11. I got a sign that said Mimi knows best.
That's so good. Who gave you that sign?
Like a friend, like just
That's
a friend who
hilarious.
probably doesn't call her grandma Mimi.
Yeah, they were probably at Target, with those like signs
Yeah,
that you
they're
could
like,
buy
"Oh
in
my
bulk, and they
God.
were like, Mimi!
It's Mimi's name. Yeah. And then
Wow.
so I still have I have a whole group of friends who still call me Mimi to this
Wow.
day.
East Coast people?
DC people, right?
Yeah, the DC people still call me Mimi. And then when I moved to Iowa, I said, I'm not doing Mimi again. That was like, I'm not naming myself after. So instead, I had a username that was CUPET, which was the first half of my like childhood cat's name, Cupcake. And then my best friend from Maryland, her dog's childhood dog name was Widget. So we made like a Neopets account together and called it Cupette.
Cute.
When I moved to Iowa, I was part of a role-playing board, like where you literally typed things out. We all pretended we were wolves. And we would shorten our usernames when we were talking to people. And so people would first started calling me CU, like Q. But then they just changed it to the letter Q, even though that's not in the name. So then when I got to Iowa, I was like, okay, I'm not naming myself after a grandma. Let me start introducing myself as Q, the letter Q. So when I was 12,
I didn't know that's where that came from.
Yep, you all were there, got to witness. I don't know if Mara did because Mara was in Girl Scouts with me, so I don't think I went by. My mom was like
the leader,
the
and
troop
like
leaders
at every meeting, and there were like 5 of us total there. So I don't remember the Q.
Yeah, I don't think she called. I don't think she ever called me Q.
No,
I think I was just Marian for you. But at Brody with Kara and everybody else, I was Q the first year, and Jen's dad still calls me Q.
Jen still calls you Q every once in a while.
Yeah, so those were my
like
two. Yeah, these are my 2 attempts at nicknames. They were both absolute failures.
Wow, isn't it fun how you can still learn things about somebody you've known since 7th grade?
I know, right? Yeah, now you can start calling me Q.
What
was I thinking?
I don't know. But great segue. What is anybody thinking naming their baby boy Greg? So that's my number 3.
That is so true. That is so true.
Just all feels, not a fan of that
Is
name.
it just like the sound of the name, or somebody named Greg that you're like, ugh, gross?
I know a couple Gregs.
I feel like it's so common.
Greg's like a pretty, I think Greg is, I think I have one Greg that I know that I was a fan of. Wasn't the guy in our D&D group?
Oh,
Mara?
that Greg's not in this namesake.
Yeah, that Greg is the exception.
He is amazing.
Imagine like calling a 3-year-old Greg.
No. Gregory.
It's like a weird.
It would be Gregory.
Even Gregory. Also, like Greg, it sounds like dregs. It sounds like, something like a creature that like woke up in the morning with its hair everywhere, like Greg.
I feel the opposite. I feel like your child is destined to be an accountant and nothing else.
Yeah. Fair.
Like boring computer job.
Yeah. Okay, now you're talking about a specific Greg.
No, I'm not. I just feel like when
Mara
I hear
is. Mara is.
Maybe,
because I know that
not.
Greg too.
Yeah, I just, I would never name a kid that.
I would not name a kid that either. Should be on the list.
Devin's middle name is actually Gregory. I don't know why I didn't put that together when I was putting this list together. Devin is my brother.
That's so funny.
Why is that his middle name? Do you know?
Zero idea. That has 0 familial ties.
Oh, interesting.
That I know of.
Because it's English in origin, right?
Who could say?
And
a name that didn't make my list, but I think is very close to Greg. That's actually kind of like a degree worse. You can agree or disagree. Craig.
Oh, you would put Craig. I have a couple of Craigs in my life that I really love. So like I don't have like negative.
I feel like your lists, now that we've done baby girl and baby boy, they're very associated with like people. Like if you've met a couple bad eggs, that name's dead to you. But
it is. It's about to get spicy up in here.
I just feel like Greg and Craig, the more offensive part about Craig is that it's not spelled like how it sounds.
Craig.
So like there's a part of me that also wants to say Craig all the time. And at least Greg is spelled correctly and there's some type of symmetry there with the G's. Craig is just like
Greg looks pretty, like the name.
Do not name your kid Craig. I will lose it. I feel like you like the name Craig and it's starting to worry me.
Her camera blinked out. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but
it did. Yeah.
Marian goes, "Don't do it." Mara's camera like suddenly faded out and then came back in, so that it looked like she was like, "I'm not gonna say yes or no."
Yeah, she's like, dodging. "Oh, sorry, there was a technical issue. I didn't hear you.
Can't make any promises."
I was trying to mute myself so I could take a drink of water, so you didn't have to edit that out later.
That was nice of you.
That's considerate of you. My number 2 is also a set of a category, which is names that have an L in them, but they end in N. Dalton, Landon, Holden. I don't like those. I don't really have a reason. There's no reason. I don't like it. They don't sound real.
So specific.
It's just they all sound, I don't want to say they sound trashy, but to me, they're like trash names. Like, and I'm not talking about people. I think everyone here always gets a little like worried because like they're thinking about specific people. If there's somebody listening here and I know that name, like I know you, like it's not about you. It's not about you. You know, I'm just saying that.
It's not your parents' decisions.
It's just like Holden, especially, like what's going on there? What is that? It's not even really like a name.
Is it the O-N? I feel like the commonality is not the L in the N. It's the O-N at the end.
Oh, Kara, this is an E-N, not an O-N.
Which one?
Holden.
Well, the person that we know that has a baby named Holden spells it O-N.
No, they don't. They spell it E-N.
There you go.
Yeah. Then. And I am including, I was thinking about the name before that. And then I even went onto their Facebook to be like, oh, is this, and the baby's very cute now because the baby's like 3, going on 4.
Oh my God.
He's very cute. His name shouldn't be Holden. That's just my opinion. It's a weird name. Like it sounds like Holden on, I mean, it's from like the only Holden from Catcher in the Rye, Holden Caulfield. That's it. Like that. And I think that's a weird.
I feel like it's sort of like 50%. You know how people are naming their kids like Meadow and
yeah.
You know,
I think
like
it's like a trendy
it's kind of
thing.
like halfway to that. It's like not quite committing to that trend, but like almost.
No, Kara, it is. These are all like influencer baby. Holden is a huge influencer baby name.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And I think that also makes me annoyed because it's like doing it for the vine, kind of. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you have a connection to, well, I don't know. For our specific people, I don't know if they have a connection. I'm not talking about them. I'm just saying in general, I don't think people have a connection to a name like that. They're just like doing it because it's a little unique. It's a little, you know, different. It's that baby influencer trend that we're in. It's like a trendy name. And it just really annoys me because I don't think it's like a real name. It's just.
Are there trendy names that you do like?
Archer.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Atlas. Atlas is a very trendy name.
And then who's that other book? What's that A name from To Kill a Mockingbird?
Atticus.
Yeah, Atticus is popping around. That one's great.
I like that one.
That's a good one. Yeah, so there's lots of trendy ones that I think are okay or like have, or there's classical, like Bo. Bo is a completely trendy name.
I have to actively think about how to spell Bo.
Yeah, it's E-A-U. Right?
But I love the name Bo. It's also like a classic old name. The thing with Holden is it sounds like it's an old name, but it's not. Like I think that's what it is. It's fake.
Oh.
To me, it's fake. And so anyway.
Is it fake? Like do you know the origin? I'm assuming it's old, like an old, because I would assume it's like on the same lines of like Robert or
Ew,
Theodore,
why isn't that name on my list?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Fuck.
It's English. Holden is English in origin.
So Holden is an old English, that means valley, but it was originally a surname, which makes sense to me.
Oh.
And gained popularity from J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye. So it's like a made up it's like a made up name basically.
Yeah.
That didn't have existence until Catcher in the Rye. And unless Catcher in the Rye is your favorite book, people believe that the reason he's named Holden is because Caul or Caulfield, like the root of it comes from, I don't know, womb or placenta or something. I can't remember. And so it's the idea that he like Holden, like literally holding onto that childhood. So like, I don't know. It's just
weird.
I just don't believe that people who pick that name have really, and again, I'm not talking about the people we know. I'm just saying in general, like I have no idea.
Because it's so general.
I'm just saying that like, no, because Holden is on a lot of influencer lists. This is not, anyway. But also I would put, in general, I would put the category of like Dalton, Landon. I don't like any of them. I think, I don't know why that the LN sounds, I don't like them. I just don't like them. I do
think that Dalton is one of the more annoying names.
It's a very annoying name.
Ugh. It's like an ugh name.
I think Landon too. Landon, like, ugh.
I think because I know a Landon, I don't feel that way, but I understand.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like names are so tied up emotionally with people that you know. So it's hard if you meet a Landon that you like and you're like, wow, that's a neutral or a fine name, and then you meet a Landon you don't like and you're like, fuck that name.
I would say I've never met a Landon. So it's not tied up.
Were you not Land O'Lakes? Landon.
Yeah.
Land O'Lakes?
I don't know.
She might
it's
not
like
know him.
Kara's cousin.
Basically like my stepbrother.
From when? I know that you know a Landon or have a Landon. Karen's kid or somebody else?
My stepdad.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe met him once, but to me that doesn't like leave an impression enough to judge whether or not like a name. Like to me, I don't have any emotional hold up with Landon, Dalton, or Holden. I haven't really met Holden. See, I said it wrong. I don't know any personal except for baby Holden, who I've never met, but and probably would be a net positive because I think the baby is really like cute. But yeah, to me, it's just like these are all names that I don't know, but I just think they are
that's
bad.
right. The sound to my ear is not pleasant.
Those names are neutral to me.
I feel pretty strongly about Dalton. But
I was about to say Dalton.
Yeah, Dalton really, I don't know why. I think it's like, it feels like a football player that couldn't quite get to even college. You know, like he made it through high school. He got like a letter jacket and he thinks he's hot shit. And then he goes out into the real world and just, you know.
Poor baby.
I don't know about this. I don't know.
We can cut that. It's just that's how, like when I picture the name, that's how that is like a pretty strong emotion that I've always, even since like there's a Dalton in like our second grade, I think, and I always was like, ugh, this name is not my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
I remember
on the
him
Dalton
being a nice
part,
kid too.
Not about imagining a man's life. And
I like how when I said the accountant thing, you guys were like, yeah. And then when I said this Dalton thing, you guys were like, no, that's
one
too
is
far.
way more sad than the other.
I think also the football one, it was almost like, it's hard because you don't want to get like classist. Like not that you were getting classist, but I think I rode the line of like, am I picking names that are like maybe more associated with like stereotypical like white trailer trash names? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like to me, Dalton and Landon like both have that like, again, I'm sorry, you know a Landon, I forget this, but like to me they just have that vibe to them. So maybe that's where the discomfort for me
painted it too much picture.
Yeah, it was like, oh, this is too close to the
what I was trying to avoid.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, well, moving on to my number 2 worst baby boy name is the name Zuma. And I found this online. Basically, Gwen Stefani and Gavin Rossdale, do you know who that is?
No.
Okay. Gwen Stefani and Gavin Rossdale named their child Zuma after a beach in Malibu. But what they didn't know is that Zuma is also the diminutive of an awful gastrointestinal condition. And
classic.
So, like, again, that would have been like a quick little Google, you know, to just avoid this GI tract problem being your child's name.
She's also the one that named her first kid Apple, right?
That's Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, man, same.
Similar.
copy paste situation there with
Gwen.
those women, or not. The Zumba.
Zuma,
Zumba, though, yeah.
Zuma's a good one.
It's kind of like naming your kid Gastro or GI, I guess. I mean, Crone. What if somebody named their kid Crone?
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Chrome.
I think Crohn's actually. I wonder if Crohn's disease is derived from a name like
Yeah, sure, like a last name.
capital C.
Did you see that they're going through a bunch of the little animal and like microbial discoveries, and they're like if it was named after the person that quote unquote discovered it, they're renaming it so that that discovery isn't tied to one specific person when it, takes thousands of people to.
That's really nice, actually.
Yeah, I love it. It made me really happy.
That's cool.
Some other celeb baby boy names that I don't like. Sir.
That's
Beyonce. I think that's Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Oh, man. How could she stay with that man?
I mean, maybe she liked it. I don't know what either of them were thinking. Maybe she was in the throes of labor and just like was so muddled, by everything that was happening that he was like, what about Sir? She was like, send it.
Man.
She goes, send it while pushing.
One more, baby.
And then Jay-Z was like, first try, all by myself.
He fucking would.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, why would you do that to a child? Now his teachers, everyone, think about the people who have to call him sir.
No.
Yeah.
Like what kind of, I feel like he's going to have such an inflated sense of self being called sir.
Or like confusion over
what his name is.
My mom is named Mary. I'm Marian. That caused a lot of confusion for me when people would ask for one or the other, because a lot of people mumble Marian like the end.
Yeah.
And so imagine like people are saying sir all around you.
Oh my God.
As a child, but they're not talking to you.
Yeah.
Because like people, it's not like sir is a random kid in like Des Moines, Iowa, and people aren't saying sir a lot. This is like, sir is growing up in a family where a lot of people are going to be saying sir to Jay-Z and talking to Jay-Z.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, it's a weird thing. It was very weird to me.
I have always had that thought about really common names like John or Dale or Craig or whatever. And there's always going to be like 3 or 4 other kids in your class named that. Or like if you're out in the world and somebody is like, oh, hey, John. And then there's 5 of them on the subway. It's just like, why? I don't like that people would name their kids really common names either. I feel like that would be confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. My second worst baby boy name, in my opinion, are the bulk of names that start with B. So Bradley, Brad, Brendan, Brandon, annoying. Brian, no.
Bob.
Oh, Bob.
Which is part of Robert. Yeah.
Bob. But I had an Uncle Bobby, so I don't know if that one's on the list for me.
You too. You're so wrapped in emotion. There's so much emotion here.
It's kind of tied with people's names.
It's my Gemini moon sign. Thank you. I don't know if that's real. I don't know. But I think my moon sign's in Gemini. But
you just have a feeling. I've got a vibe. I haven't looked it up.
I did look it up one time because somebody asked me.
What does that even mean, though? Like, does that mean that you are a Gemini?
She just shrugged. I just want everyone to know she just shrugged.
I just like to say these things. I don't think
just to get a rise out of people, because that's what happened.
Or like an eye roll.
I like the idea of blaming things on a moon sign that I just choose to. Like,
that's my Scorpio moon sign.
So sorry about that. I'm a Sagittarius rising moon.
Yeah.
If only I was an Aquarius setting, everything would be easier.
I feel like you could get away with saying shit like that in LA and people would actually know what you meant.
This is a good category.
Mostly, I know that you love Brendan Fraser. I just don't like thinking about Brendan versus Brandon.
I don't think it's a good name. See how easy that is, you guys? I don't think it's a good name. I don't mind Brendan Fraser. Like Brendan Fraser for the person, not his name. He could have been named Axel Fraser, and I would probably like him just the same, though that was hard to say for me. So Braden, I think goes in this category.
Is that a name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Spell it Brayden. These DEN names, oof. They get my blood pressure going.
Wow.
You know how I almost named a dog Noosh just to piss you off? This is giving me lots of good ideas.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, ruin your kid's life.
Wow. As the aunts will step in. We got you, little future baby.
Oh, apparently Braden can also be DON.
Ew. Oh, that's how I spelled it in my list.
Ugh.
Braden?
Yeah, Brandon.
Oh, no, you're saying Brandon.
Oh.
I'm saying Braden. BRA. Right. Which apparently, I just looked it up. At 1 out of every 10,000 baby boys born in 2021 were named Braden. That seems like too many, but I guess I don't know.
The population's only 300 million. That can't be that many.
Only. For now.
Yeah, like how many baby boys were born last year, for example?
At least 12. No idea. I have zero idea of the birth, death rate, population.
That's a good point. Like, how many baby boys were born in the U.S. last year?
Isn't the population like 9 million here?
What? 9 million?
Oh,
9 million people?
No, that's not enough.
No, it's not. There's like at least 9 million people in LA.
9 billion?
In the US? Are you saying 9 billion people in the US?
I clearly have a great idea.
About 3.5 million births each year, approximately.
Okay, so let's do the math. 3.5 million. So let's say half of them are boys. That's 1.75 million divided by 10,000. What's that?
175 Bradens in the world.
Only 175?
Yeah.
That's not a lot at all.
Yeah.
What a unique little name.
No, don't say that. There's going to be an influencer who listens to this.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's hope so.
That would be nice.
Yeah, please plug us. And we're fine with you naming your kid Braden. As long as it's not Holden, I'm on board.
So that's like the number one worst baby name, it sounds like. See what your number one is.
No, I've got my number one. Okay, let's go to our sponsors. It's time.
I'd like to nominate MLK since it's MLK Day. Because
Okay.
No?
Are you?
I assume that we don't have any.
Are you saying that Martin or Luther is a good?
Oh no, I was thinking about how it's nice that I have a Monday off to do this recording.
God.
Let's
okay.
cut that.
Yeah. Martin Luther King, thank you so much for your work and your sacrifice to give Kara.
Listen, I didn't think before I said it. I didn't
You're
think
our number.
It was
Do you
zero
want him
filter.
to be the number 1 or the number 2 or the number 3? Where are you putting MLK?
I'd like to retract my
No.
proposal.
This
Yes.
is going in for sure.
No. I forgot how the system usually works, and I was just on my own little planet, and then I didn't filter. I think Martin is a great name. I think Luther is a great name, and I think King is a great name. For the record,
Junior.
Yeah, and Junior. Go for it.
All right, our number 3 sponsor is Grayson. Thanks. Our number 2 sponsor is MLK Day.
Oh my God.
Thanks. And our number 1 sponsor is Elon Musk's baby boy name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Oh, I think it's pronounced Archangel, but look it up. It's a bunch of symbols.
It starts with a Z.
Does it? I thought it started with some like math symbol.
Isn't that an illegal name?
I want to change my number. I want to change my suggestion for.
No, I like it. I like it. We are thanking Martin Luther King Jr. for his very important work that gave us.
Oh, XA.
You know, this is actually the second time Elon Musk's baby has sponsored this podcast.
Well, He sponsored one that will never be shown to the world. So I thought I would do it again. But I love that you know that. I love that you remember that.
Sign up for our Patreon to get exclusive access to that episode.
Yes. That was our very first episode that we ever recorded.
Oh, no.
Elon Musk's
Wow.
baby did sponsor that. He's a regular listener. He's a patron of the arts. 12X. I think it's actually 12 Archangel. I can't even say it. Archangel.
Is it Archangel?
No, it's Archangel. Archangel.
Is it Archangel though, or Archangel?
Archangel? Probably Archangel.
I think it's Archangel.
I think this kid's name is 12 Archangel, but if you look at it, it starts with an X and then goes into like
A-dash-XII.
But there's like, is there a number in there or no? But there's the dashes and the E is like that math E. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like it's not a regular E. It's weird.
Oh, there's 12, but XII is 12. Apparently.
Right. Because he's Archangel 12.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
If you like us and you care about us, share us with a friend who you think might enjoy us. And you don't have to tell them you know us either. You can just be like, I listened to this podcast, unrelated, like no reason. I found it all on my own, not because my friends begged me to listen.
Yeah, or they sent me 4 different links across 2 months.
Yeah,
No.
like this is just something that I organically think is great, and I'm not doing it out of pity. Like I really like this show, and that'll sell it for the person. I've already given you the pitch. Like this is going to be super easy, and then just link the episode you think is best to somebody who could become our number 1 fan. All right.
Back at it.
It is time for our number 1 worst baby boy names.
Ay.
For boys.
Now, when I say this number 1, I want you to be thinking of regular people
Ugh, fine.
named this.
Okay.
Not the famous person named this. Because I think this name ended up fitting for the famous person. But imagine everyone who's been named this after.
Okay.
Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
Bad. It's a bad name to name a baby boy. What are you doing? Elvis is even a weird name for Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
It's also weird when you look up the meaning. Well, not the meaning, but the origin. It's like a Scandinavian thing. And then you start looking at it, and it's like, it's kind of very close to the word elves. You know, it's got like an elf thing going on. It also sounds like a very old man.
Was his real name Elvis, or
Yes.
was his stage name Elvis?
No, his real name was Elvis, and then he had a normal middle name, but his real name was Elvis. I mean, like if you think about it, pre-Elvis, I think this is a fine like 1880s name for a man, right? Like I can imagine a ton of Elvises running around. That's a funny sentence to say. Ton of little Elvises running around, and they're like, Elvis, like you get over here, boy, Elvis. But Elvis changed that, and now it's like that name is tainted, and you're also like, what are you saying about your child when you name them Elvis? Like unless you have a very strict like Scandinavian heritage origin, and your grandfather's father's was named Elvis, or your grandfather was literally Elvis Presley, like I'm not sure what you're doing.
That's fair. I have no idea.
Yeah. No argument from me. That is a terrible name to name a child.
I think my number 1 has very similar vibes. My number 1 is Adolf, and this was super common, obviously, in Germany until Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
But I have a little story associated with it, and I can't hear the name Adolf without thinking about the story. So I listened to the audiobook version. So what did we say it was? I auto-bookinged whatever. Marian has a problem with people listening to books and calling it reading. So I audioed.
It is reading. I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
It is a form of reading in the sense of like, if you were on Goodreads, or if you have a list of books you read in 2024, 2023, you should always put the audiobooks in there, right? Like I'm never going to say like you didn't read the book. Like obviously you read the book. I'm just saying the verb. when you're talking to people.
But you read it via audio.
No.
You listen to it.
You listen to it.
It's called Goodreads.
Yeah, but in that sense, read is a noun.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, tell me some good reads.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I just think we need a verb that encompasses what it is, because like listening to something is not the verb reading. Like, just like how Grayson pointed out in a previous podcast, like nobody reads our podcast. It's the same thing. Like when you're listening, you're not physically reading, and it's confusing to me.
My
and
eyes
so
can wander.
when you were audioing, I think we just need to make it a thing. That's how language works. We're just going to make it a thing. So when you were audioing.
Started here.
So when I audiobooked, I like audiobooks better.
Ugh.
When I audiobooked Trevor Noah's Born a Crime, it's about how he grew up in South Africa during apartheid. It's pretty hard to make money when you're a Black kid in apartheid. And so he could make mixtapes, essentially. So people started asking him to come do events and stuff, like a graduation or a birthday party or whatever. So he would come and he would do like DJing. And then he got invited to do a Jewish kid's bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah, whichever one a boy does. And they invited him to come do the DJing, and he brought a few friends, and none of the people were dancing or singing or anything. They were just kind of like sitting on the side. And he was like, we got to liven this party up or people are going to think that I'm a bad DJ. And he brought his friends out onto the dance floor. And so they started dancing, these guys, because they were trying to get everybody else to come join. And then his friend named Adolf, which I'll tell the story about why his name's Adolf later, he started dancing, and everybody that was friends with him started going, go Adolf, go Adolf, go Adolf. And then they got kicked out of this bat mitzvah because this Jewish group was like, what the actual fuck?
Oh my God.
So it turns out that in South Africa at the time, people would name their kids powerful names. So whoever was like a powerful person, regardless of what they did, or, they didn't know probably like why Adolf Hitler was a bad dude at the time.
How could they not know?
Yeah.
How could they not
South
know?
Africa, like apartheid, you don't have a lot of news, poverty, whatever. And so this person named their kid Adolf because they were like, we want to emulate like a powerful person.
That's brutal.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I think in parts of Africa, that's still a common name.
Does Trevor Noah, did he record his own audiobook?
He did, and it's very good.
Yes.
He does his mother's voice, and it's very good.
His voices are really good.
That's sweet. I like that.
I might listen to that then.
It's a great book. I learned a lot about apartheid through it.
Yeah.
I didn't know as much as I do now. So I'd recommend it. It's a good book.
My number one worst boy baby name, none of you will be surprised, is also
Devin?
Rooted in Emotion.
Oh.
And
What's your dad's name?
Ronald.
Oh my God, I've never heard Ronald. I can't handle that. It's
no.
Ron.
Why would you?
My dad's name is also Ronald.
No, it's not.
Yeah, his first.
David.
No. My
What?
grandpa's name is Ronald. They named my dad Ronald as well after him. His middle name is David, and he went by. Both my parents go by their middle names.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What is your mom's name?
Victoria, right?
Victoria. Mhm. She went by Vicky when she was a child.
Weird.
Yeah, I know. I think it kind of fits. I think she should have stayed with Victoria, but it's fine. I wouldn't pick Mary over Victoria, but
I like Victoria.
Also, both their parents decided to give both their kids two first names.
I think that was common.
that's usually how
yeah.
middle names work. I know that we're different, Mara, but most people like Kara just get like a first name as a middle name. Not everybody does what our parents did to us.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so my dad's name is also Ronald, technically.
I feel like you've told me that before, and I don't know why that didn't stick.
It's a lot of lore. That happens. I had to ask Amanda something when I was visiting her that I was like, can you remind me of this? Because I know we probably talked about it like 20 years ago, but it's been 20 years. And like, I think I have an inkling, like I have a vibe, but I don't actually remember anymore.
Yeah, like Kara asking, you asked Amanda what her mom's name was one time, and then she answered Sue, which is your mom's name.
How did I never know that?
Oh my God. Anyway, I wrote 4 names down, and there's not really a category, so I'll just stick with 2 of them. but like Michael and Thomas.
Wow. I'm excited for Anna to listen to this. So yeah, what's your beef with Tom? What's going on?
What's your emotional reason?
On my very first job, I just worked with a Thomas that left a sour taste.
You
in my
really
mouth.
like if a coworker does you dirty, they're gonna end up on the podcast as
You
a
have a lot of coworkers.
worst baby boy name.
All the 4 names I wrote down are all people I've worked with.
So why Michael versus Thomas? Why are these the worst? Why are they the worst compared to your other names?
I just don't like them.
I think you just don't like people. You like sat down and you were like, fuck worst baby boy names. Yeah, like top 3 worst guys that I hate. Let's just put their names down.
Yeah, actually, last year I went on a couple dates with this guy named Bradley, and then he just ghosted me out of nowhere, and I was like, okay, bye. Well,
I think -1 point for
well,
that.
-1. Negative. Thank you. Yes, agreed. Mars not winning this episode.
The other theme I was considering going with was the biblical thing. I just don't think I would ever choose a name rooted from the Bible, which I feel like it would be hard to find a name that isn't tied biblically. But like the Archangel Michael, and then like the Apostle Thomas, Peter. Yeah.
Paul, Mary.
I think Mary as a boy's name, Merry, is cute.
Mary.
I think that child would be bullied.
I feel like you're putting
senseless.
happiness on them.
Like a little bit of bullying, I think, toughens you up.
Sorry, can we just go back to what Mara just said?
What'd she say?
I said I feel like you're putting happiness on them.
How dare you?
It's like...
Well, actually, I think I did for baby girl names. I think I actually did say that was messed up to call your kid Joy or Hope or Faith. So
Yeah.
it is kind of.
I just love that it's this idea that you can't insinuate that they're happy.
No.
You're telling them they have to be happy all the time.
I don't think that that's a good boy name.
Well, I think that a little bullying about your name it's good for the soul.
It is.
Yeah.
It builds character, gives you a good snappy 1-2 back.
Yeah, you have to learn how to defend something that maybe you don't totally believe in. And I think that's an important skill.
Yeah.
As somebody who does that like every day.
As an early politician, I believe.
Yeah, you want Mary to be a politician. That's the way to go. I want to do an honorable mention. I did ask Matt yesterday in the car. He asked what the topic was when we were driving. I told him the topic. I said, what do you think is a bad boy name? And he had a very good one.
Matthew is an apostle too.
Yeah.
So what was Matt's?
It was
Matt?
Chad.
I almost put the Chad, Brad, like that same vein, but I was like, I'm gonna stick with just B's because I could name enough.
Chad has it's kind of like Karen at this point in the culture. Like you can't really name your kid. Like you can't name your kid Chad.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just a standalone name, but it is short for names. And I can't remember what he guessed it was. He was wrong. But I had 2 guesses and I was right about both. My first was Chadwick. I was like, where is this coming from? But I'm pretty sure Chadwick is an actual name.
Is that a first name?
Yeah. And then I was thinking also about Charles. I was like, it's probably just Charles. But when I looked it up, Charles, Chadwick, and this one was my favorite, Chadrick. And I do kind of like that as a name, Chadrick. I think that's a hilarious thing to name a kid. That is like the ultimate frat boy, Chadrick.
Hey, Chadrick.
And I wish that Chad didn't have like the connotation that it does, because I do think that Chadwick, there is something like very like old British, like something about it that I do like. I did think that it would be funny if like Brad and Bradley, what about Chad and Chadley? Imagine if Chadley were a name. And
you can make it happen, Marian.
I can make it happen. My poor child.
Is it Chadrick with an R or Chadwick with a W?
Both. So the one that I guessed that is correct is Chadwick with a W. The one that I think I wasn't expecting, that I didn't know was a thing, is Chadrick with an R.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I think Chad Rick with an R is the funny frat one. And Chad Wick is kind of like this polished old English.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rick,
professor.
Dick. Like Richard, Rick, Rich, Dick.
Is your Rick, Kara, named Richard, or what's his?
Is he named Chad Rick?
I have no idea.
Yeah, what if Rick was short for Chad Rick? That would be funny.
I would only call him Chadrick.
Like his full name wasn't on the wedding invite?
I'll text right now and
Oh my
figure
God,
that out.
don't
I think it's
text
just
that.
Rick.
Okay, let's do an update. What's Rick's full?
I'll ask my mom.
What's Rick's full given name? I'm gonna bet right now that Rick is like a version of his middle name.
I'm just gonna go with Richard. No,
I think I know his middle name. It's not his middle name. It
Yeah,
is
but
his
what if
first
it's
name.
like my parents where they switched it? So I
No,
think
it's
that
not. I'm telling you, it's not though, because I know his middle name.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like I also knew my mom's middle name growing up. I thought her name was Mary Victoria. And then one day she was like, actually, it's Victoria Mary, but I changed it. And my dad, same thing. I thought it was David Ronald. It's Ronald David. And he does R David when he does his things. So what if you think you know Rick's middle name, but actually he switched them? Yes.
Did your parents introduce each other like when they met? Or are they going by their current names?
Yes.
Because how cute would that have been to be like, oh my God, you also go by your middle name? That would have been like such a cute little.
That is cute. That's how
discovery.
You know your soulmates. What's Rick's middle name?
He doesn't like people talking about it, so I can't share it.
See, I bet that's his actual first name. You ask and see if maybe
it
was his
mom,
first
what's
name.
Rick's given name? And
Kivin.
I will ask if I can share it on the podcast.
And ask her, is Rick's middle name, was it actually his first name? And he switched them.
Okay.
I think people our parents' age, I'm starting to think that that's just the thing.
I think that's unique to your parents.
No way.
Yes.
If I had a real middle name, best believe I would have been using it other than Marian. Like I was desperate for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have.
I do. One time when like I played softball for like 6 years and everybody had a nickname, right? And then so I made my nickname Hey You. Like how depressing is that? So my little visor said Hey You, which like how
That's sad.
That's so
Okay,
sad.
so I feel like you're gonna name any kids nicknameable names.
Oh yeah, that's
definitely.
absolutely. Oh my God. And their middle name isn't gonna be a last name. So
yeah, they're gonna have options. They're gonna have a bailout if they need
they're
it.
gonna have a Victoria Mary Ronald David situation.
Nice. 10
Kara
points to Gryffindor.
Eileen.
Yeah. I've never thought about going by Eileen. Yeah.
Yeah,
My name was almost Catherine, so I would have been a Katie, which would have been awful.
Ooh.
that's not giving.
You ever wonder, like, if our names were different, would we be friends? Like, honestly, like, I'm trying to
Yes, I do.
imagine.
I think about stuff like that all the time.
Like, I was almost Elizabeth, but I think that would have worked. I probably would have been like a Lizzie. I would have found like a really weird,
Yeah.
like, Bitsy.
Z.
I
You
probably would
have
have
a
been
Z.
Bitsy. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mhm.
That would have been cute.
I don't know what other names my parents were considering.
You should ask.
You should ask.
Yeah.
It's a very weird
What
conversation.
were your boy names if you were a boy? Did they tell you? I would have been George, but
Oh, I like
they
that.
would have called me Jordy, which I guess is
Okay.
like some
I work with a
nickname for
Geordie.
George. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is his full name George?
I don't know because his email signature is Jordy.
Ask him.
No, we're not. We ain't like that.
It's a pretty like okay question. It's not like a very intimate question. It's just like
Out of the blue, I haven't talked to you in 2 years. Hey,
here's the thing: is I want to give Kara. Tell me what you think about this, Mara. Because I also thought about Adolf or like other bad names, but I thought that's a cop out. Also, no one really names their kid
not
that
anymore. It's like illegal in most places.
yeah, and so my inclination is to give Kara -1 for this completely easy out, like number one worst baby boy name.
I'll defend myself and say that I had a story to go along with it, and that's why I did it, because I feel like this topic can go really quickly. like it would just be like, Michael, yeah, that sucks. Benny, yep, that sucks. And so I was trying to find ones that had a little bit of a backstory.
No backstory like Adolf.
But you can't, I mean, it's a better backstory than that was a bad dude.
I agree. Maybe we could do negative half point, but let's see what Mara's.
I feel like it needs to at least be a half. You did have a story which made it mildly amusing, and it was a story that happened within the last like 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and there's people in Uganda named Adolf. So I lived in a country where it's still, yeah.
And maybe it's not illegal there. I just know it's illegal in most states, I'm pretty sure, to name
Is
a
it?
kid.
I thought that was just a German thing.
No, I think she might be right.
It's illegal in Germany, Malaysia, Mexico, and New Zealand to name Adolf Hitler. Can I name my kid Shrek? All right, Google. Sure you can. But it'd be a horrible thing to do to a defenseless child. Okay.
See, that would have been a good number one.
Ooh, that was on a list I looked at. And I was like, no, I can't do that. That's my man. That's my boo.
That's my boo.
I like that you gave categories, Marian. +1 for names not spelled normally.
Yeah, that was entertaining.
And I'll give Kara a plus half point for coming up with a story around Adolf.
That's the only reason I put it on there.
Neutral. Wow.
Well, sounds like...
So Marian's the winner.
Mara, we've got to collaborate. Come
Mara
on.
won the last one.
Yeah.
With a last minute Hail Mary talk about her bodily functions. That was kind of the theme.
That's a good way to get a point. Talk about shitting your pants.
I had to scoop poop into a vial earlier last week. So do I win this one? No.
No,
I've also done that. Not cool.
Ew.
Give me a point. I've got Crohn's. Everyone knows.
I gotta go whip some shitties. So you can decide which version I mean. And email us at mytopeverythingpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram. Share us. Please rate and subscribe if you haven't. Rating is really helpful, apparently, I've heard. So if you could do that, that'd be great. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Love you guys. That's too desperate. Don't put that in there. Bye. Oh man, that's our worst harmonizing we've done in a really long time. That was so bad.
You want to redo it?
When you said love you guys, were you talking to us or?
No, I was talking to our family.